All right, what's up, everybody? We got a good group here. We've got the Dancing Freemans. Classic maneuver. Yeah, I got a really good call lined up, and I am requesting your participation. So I am not here to talk at you, talk to myself, or hang out here by myself, or watch you guys sleep. So I would love your participation. I'll request it from time to time. And a lot of the content that I'm using today, or that I came up with today, is coming from one of the events that we had last Thursday. So our Game On event in Scottsdale. Love your halo, Aaron. Well done. So, they're coming from the leaders in our industry, the leaders in our field, and the leaders in Isagenix. So let's get to it. I want to start with creating a little bit of context. I think context is decisive. We can probably all agree on that. So I wanted to go, I know a lot of times we share about our experience, what happened the previous week, what we're looking forward to the next week, but I want to go a little deeper than that. I want to get connected right away. So I want to know who wants to share. What are the 1 to 3 biggest things you've gained for yourself and your life out of saying yes to Isagenix? 1 to 3. Go for it, Lisa.
Well, I got my whole life. I mean, I was destitute. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I couldn't feed my children. I didn't know how I was going to send them to college. I couldn't keep the electricity on. So it basically gave me a purpose. It gave me an income. And it gave me a community of like-minded people.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, you really hear it gave you like a whole new life. Awesome, Lisa.
I would say that it gave me so many things too, but it gave me a way to kind of track my transformation. Like, I love personal development, but being able to match personal development with the business, I can see it manifesting in something. Like, totally. As I break through this barrier, it manifests in my business. Kind of in a way, a scoreboard, but not a scoreboard, So that, it's given me my health feeling better than ever, healing from breaking my back. Isagenix played a huge part in my strength, and, giving me the freedom to be home and working from where I feel inspired to work.
Totally. And I love what you said about like almost using it as a way to measure your transformation. And that's actually part of what I'm going to go over today. I've been listening to Eric Worre a lot, and I've been going back through GoPro, and it's just, oh my God, there's such juicy information in there. But one of his quotes is, "There's no more noble of a business than one that encourages the development of others," which is totally what we're in. And the numbers don't lie. We're in a performance-based business, so our performance is always on the line. You can always tell by the numbers where our performance is. Awesome. All right, who else? Let's have one more person, at least one more person. Yeah, go ahead, David.
I'll go ahead. For me, the number one thing is always going to be my health. I am in better physical health than I've ever been in my entire life. I had just recovered from cancer 6 years ago, was just cruising along. Isagenix was a domino that set me on a path where I'm in better shape now than I've ever been in. And then that started other things rolling along. I feel like I have a second life, actually. And so part of the second life is in my head, and it's in how I make money. And so I have the second half of my life to take to start it again. So I think it's great. It's given me another chance to create a life.
Totally. And with everybody sharing, you can really hear like a before Isagenix and then an after Isagenix. It's like really distinct, there was life before and there was life after. So I was thinking before the call, like, why Isagenix? So I actually went on the website, and have you guys ever done this? Gone on the website and actually read all the core values? Like read through all of them?
It's been a minute, since I've intentionally looked at them, but they're amazing.
I did that for the first time today. Like literally read 1 through 12, all of them. And I was blown away. Like blown away. Like, how did I not read this almost 2 years ago when I got started? Because at that time, had I been in the mindset of really looking for a business, looking to start my own business, and had I read those then, I'd have been like, this is everything that I've ever wanted in a company to partner with to build my business. Everything. And I took a couple highlights, so I'm going to read them. Health. We're committed to impacting world health physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, and spiritually. This is reflected through our no compromise products, which combine the best of science and nature and help anyone take control of their health. Like, if you didn't know anything about Isagenix and you read that, would you be like, okay, that's kind of cool. Freedom. Isagenix is committed to being the vehicle for people to create physical, emotional, spiritual, time, and financial freedom in their lives. You can have a life of passion, purpose, and fun. You can choose to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. Like, what?
Yeah!
What? Are you serious?
We're
in.
We're in.
Sign me up.
All right, last one I'm going to read. These are so good. Contribution. Contribution is at the core of Isagenix. We believe you never truly have anything until you share it. Making a difference in other people's lives, giving back, and serving others is a joy. Contribution is more than giving money. It's about giving part of yourself through your time, knowledge, love, assistance, and effort. Contribution will also allow us to be part of something bigger than ourselves. Like, do those even sound like values of a company? Or would that be like your life motto on paper? And there are all kinds of them: goal-driven, purpose, transformation, leadership development, fun, family, integrity, innovation. And I was thinking, like, we've got the systems and we've got a comp plan, but what are we really selling here? Like, what are we really offering people? And I'm really asking you guys, like, what are we selling? What are we offering people?
Fabulous life.
Totally.
I feel like I'm gifting people a vehicle for everything that they want to do.
Yeah, totally.
I'm saying a shift in perception for your life.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Hope.
Totally. Hey, Hilda.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, stuff that I wrote down, a couple things I wrote down was a brand new life, a brand new future, like a life of purpose, passion, and fun, a life of fulfillment and passion. And I was looking at my experience, like, where does that show up in my conversations? You know, if that's what we're really sharing with people, where's that showing up in my conversations that I'm having? Or am I diminishing it down to products? Like, is that as far as I'm willing to go in my conversation with people because that's where I'm comfortable sharing? And it's true. It's like, that's not showing up in my conversation. And I was like, why not? Well, I'm scared that if I really go out there and share that passionately about a company that's in total alignment with who I am as a person, people are going to get freaked out. Or if they say no, they're not saying no to the opportunity, they're saying no to me. Right? Can anybody relate to that? Totally. So, I want to shift into, that's our context, right? Our context is we're sharing a new life for people. Like, we're gifting something that can totally transform somebody's life. So how do we keep that context? Does anybody know? How do you maintain that context?
Action?
Yeah, it's definitely one way.
More action?
What about before action?
The thought about action?
Action. Thinking about action?
Belief.
Belief.
Yeah, belief. Totally. Or you could like put a bunch of those together and call it mindset. And Lynette Davis, she did an awesome piece on mindset on Thursday at the event that I was telling you guys about. And she was saying, you build before you build. You build before you take the action. So how do you do that? She gave us 3 things. She said, you see it. It's my pinky. You see it? You see it. You speak it. And you feel it. Everybody do it together. You see it. You speak it. And you feel it. That's right. So what did she mean? She meant like you see it. Where's your focus? How many people do visualization? Got it. Lindsay, her hand's up. You just can't see it. Yeah, so can you see it? Like, where's your focus? Are you focused on the results you haven't produced? Are you focused on how you're not where you want to be? Are you focused on how you're not where you want to be or where you said you'd be only 2 months ago? Or is your focus on where you're going? Is your focus on the goal? Like, can you sit down in the seat that you're in right now, close your eyes, and see yourself at whatever your goal is? Like, really see it. Got some nods. Can everybody see it? And, I don't know. It's my personal belief, but I believe we live in an abundant universe. And for better or for worse, that universe is constantly responding to our desires. So what kind of messages are we sending? Are we sending messages of gratitude, of love? Or are we sending messages of lack and not enough? So that's all part of see it. Can you close your eyes and can you see your goal? Can you see you there, not just the goal, but you there, receiving the accolades, receiving the acknowledgement, the recognition? Can you see your team from the stage? You can't go alone. 2, speak it out loud. So like 2 people, talk to people and tell them what your goals are. Or for some people, I don't know, for some people it would be, maybe you look in the mirror every morning and you say, I am a 3-star crystal executive. I am an Isogenics millionaire, Lisa. Can you say that to yourself? And can you really build that belief? Feel it. This was like one when she brought this up. I was like, no, I don't do feelings. I'm a guy. No, thank you. I'll stick with see it and speak it. But really, can you feel the emotion behind you actually having what your goal is? You having achieved your goal? Can you allow yourself to feel it fully? Because our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's consistently imagined, consistently and vividly imagined. It literally can't tell the difference. And why is that even important? Because when you're feeling it, when you're having the whole experience, when it's not actually happening in reality, that is a process of becoming. You're becoming a 3-star. You're becoming an Isogenics millionaire before you ever get there. And that's the way this actually works. Maybe your goals aren't that big. Maybe you want to be a director. Well, you get to director or you take actions consistent with the director before you ever get the title. That comes afterwards. And she said something that was like, it blew me away. She said, I never leave my mind alone. This is Lynette saying this. She's a 5-star, by the way. She says, I never leave my mind alone. And what she meant by that is like our minds are precious real estate. We can't leave them unattended. So what's your thing? I want to know what you guys do. For me, it's audiobooks. When I'm just chilling throughout the day, I listen to audiobooks nonstop. I listen to Eric Worre. I've listened to T. Harv Eker. Like I have those things going on repeat all the time. So I want to know what you guys do. Do you have affirmations? Do you have podcasts? Do you have audiobooks? What's your thing? And if not, what are you saying is your thing? Aaron Freeman.
One of the things that got started was probably from Healthy Mind and Body, and it was not only the 60 days of gratitude, but also really getting how important the morning is to me. So every morning, without a doubt, I eat my protein oats and I read a chapter on building my mindset, as you're talking about, my spirit and my mindset as the mind-body connection. So I will not break that. Like the morning is quiet and I read, not only am I feeling my body, but at the same time feeling my spirit-mind connection. And that's absolute.
What kind of difference does that make for you?
It gets me into a place of what am I really here for? And so a lot of different things happen each day, but it gets me out of fear. And by how it does that is by really asking myself what I'm here for, getting connected to the source of everything. And then from there, it's, really like expanding my why early in the day. And then I can go out and whatever happens. But it gives me a place to stand from much bigger than if I wake up and I'm only concerned about going to the gym or getting food in me. It's such a, it really is such a small piece. But then when I am expanding myself and my why, it's like, wow, the day just got bigger. There's so many opportunities. Anything's possible.
Totally. Yeah, it sounds like it actually gives you purpose behind the actions you are taking.
Or will take that. And, I may not know what the right ones are going to be yet.
Yeah. So if you don't have a thing, what I want you to take away from this is to get a thing. It might be reading in the morning. It might be priming first thing in the morning. It might be listening to audiobooks throughout the day. Maybe you write messages to yourself, affirmations to yourself, and keep them with you in your purse and pull them out of your purse and read them. But something that's going to keep you present to the context of what it is we're really up to. Because I'm sure you've experienced, it's pretty easy that goes right out the window. Life comes up and it's like, what was I? What, isogenics? What? It's like a multi-level or something like that. And of course, that's not what we want because it's not what we're committed to, especially not us here on a business call like this. So, let me look at my notes. Yeah, that's it. So I want to switch gears. I want to talk about being a product of the product. And I want to know, this is a portion that Natalie Holsaw did, who's a 2015 ISOBODY finalist, grand prize winner. And I want to know, what do you guys think of when you hear a product of the product? Like, what comes to mind?
Walking the talk. I mean, you got to look the part. You got to use the products. You got to, you have to be a representative of what these products are about. And like Kathy's rocking it.
Kathy, you're going up on stage soon, aren't you?
Soon, yeah. It's pretty scary though.
No pressure, you're gonna rock it.
It's gonna be big. So I'm very nervous about this one. The other one I did was really little, so big difference.
Yeah,
it's fun, but no, exactly what you guys are talking about though. Just be a representative of being in the best health you can be, in the best shape you can be, because that's what we're all about, is having the best life and the most productive and the most energetic and the most fun.
totally.
And if you're just sitting there in a rocking chair, it doesn't sound like much fun to me.
No, totally. And for you especially, the show you're doing, you just said it, is a big show, right? That's out of your comfort zone?
Way out.
Yes, that's the next big thing for you.
Yeah, the little one was out, but this one's way out.
So why? I mean, why take on something at that next level? Why for you?
I guess just to do it.
Yeah, and do you find that when you have something big that you're preparing for, that you share that with greater ease?
I guess. I guess so.
Do you feel like, I guess what I'm getting at is having something out in the future that you're working towards? Because I know most of us we've been using these products for a while. We've gotten great results. We're probably in a maintenance phase by now. So it can become easy to relate to them as like monotonous, you know? It's kind of boring. Same old stuff after a while, right?
Yeah, but you can always get better.
Totally. Which is like why it's like so important to have something out in the future physically that you're striving for. And it gives you like something to be excited about. It gets you enrolled in the product use. Because really we're out enrolling other people to use these products, are we not?
Mm-hmm. If I could add something too about being a product of the product, for me, what I'm getting most recently is like being a product of the product, like being a product of the new way, like of health, like the new paradigm of health. You know, what we've been doing as human beings hasn't been working, and we've done damage to ourselves. And so cleansing, for example, isn't yet like, you know, the everyday person's doing it. But we can be like super fun about it. You know, cleansing is the new way. It's the future. We are progressive. This is 10 years, 15 years into the future. So for me, being a product of the product is really about like being out loud and being self-expressed about like just the future of where health and nutrition is going.
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, you can just even hear it in your sharing, like that's something you're passionate about. So I'm sure when you're sharing with people, that's something that comes across. The new way. I like it. Hashtag new way. Yeah, and the whole reason I'm saying this is because just have something to be excited about. Like whatever, you know, Kathy, getting on stage, being outside of your comfort zone. Something, like for me, I'm running a half marathon. Natalie and I are running a half marathon together next weekend. It's like, that was uncomfortable for me. That training was uncomfortable. My hips, my knees, my feet, no way. And I had only been doing resistance training for a long time, you know? But I was excited about it because it was something new. And being excited about it, I was sharing with people. Like I could talk about my transformation, even though it wasn't really a physical transformation. You know, it was a transformation in being able to do something different that I hadn't done before. So have that for you. Oh, is somebody going to share? I heard an echo. Have that for yourself, whatever that is for you.
It's this weekend.
Yeah, this week. Did I say next weekend?
Get ready to run.
I did 10 yesterday. All right. So what are we going to do? Switching gears again. This is something that was covered by Susan Sly. What are we going to do to prevent burnout? Lisa, have you ever experienced burnout?
Absolutely. I mean, eight plus years. Yeah, I've experienced burnout. I have my my absolute go-to things that I do when I have that burnout, and I think it's realizing that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and you have to stay at it. I mean, you can. I equate it to, you know, taking a flag up a flagpole. There's times you're going to do it fast, times you're going to do it slow, but you can't take your hands off the rope. Mm. Because if you do, it goes to the bottom. And so, and the biggest thing I do is, you know, some days I maybe not as working as hard, but I'm always touching my business. I'm always touching it every day in some way, even if it's just looking at my back office.
Mm. I love that analogy.
I definitely experienced burnout, and you have to know when you're getting there and take care of yourself. Totally. You got to stay in it for the long term. Yeah.
So Susan was talking about preventing it. What can you do to combat it, prevent it, or keep it from happening? And she said, and I want you guys to repeat this because she made us repeat it too. I'm channeling Susan Sly right now. She said, with clarity and certainty, there can be no overwhelm. You guys want to say it together? Ready? 1, 2, 3. With clarity
and certainty, there can be no overwhelm.
That's good, right? That's like gold. That is so gold. Susan, she did it again. But what does she mean? So she gave us 5 things. I'm going to talk about 4, and somebody can talk about the 5th because I don't do the 5th or haven't to this point. But the 4 things are: keep your vision at the forefront of your mind. So we all have life. I mean, some of us have kids, some of us have family in the same area. We're all up to big things, but you got to check it out. Like when people invite you to do things, you don't have to, but ask yourself, participating in this, does this align with my vision? And if the answer is no, maybe you don't do that. And the second thing she said was value your time. And especially value your time before the money comes. So we all teach people how to treat us. And if we value our time, other people will too. Eric Worre says, he tells a story about when he was in real estate and he was 5 minutes late for an appointment and the gentleman had left. The appointment was at 10 o'clock. He showed up at 10:05. The gentleman was gone and was no longer at the meeting. And he said the difference that made for him was anytime he had a meeting with that same person, he made sure he was on time. So I'm telling you, it's okay that if you have a follow-up call with somebody and they don't show, it's okay to just go right to rescheduling. Honor your time. And I think that'll also prevent me from chasing people. So second thing is value your time. Third thing is plan the night before. This is really simple, but I still at times don't do this. But plan who you're calling the night before. She said, become a Facebook ninja. What does she mean by that? So you know who you're going to call the night before, so go look at their Facebook. Go check them out. See what they're up to. So when you call them, you know what they're up to in life, and you can relate to them. And you're not like, hey, do you want to do this 16-week challenge, and their puppy just died? So be mindful of your interactions with people and create a schedule and be professional about it. So schedule your time. And when that time comes where you're supposed to be doing that thing, do that thing. And she said, make sure that 80% of the time is on income producing activities. So those are prospecting, it's presenting, it's launch parties, virtual launch parties, etc. And the other 20% is building your team, growing your network of people, developing leadership. And the 5th thing was be tax efficient, but I gotta be honest, when she was talking about this, it was like right over my head. So Jocelyn, Lindsay, Lisa, do either one of you want to talk about being tax efficient or using this business for tax purposes?
Well, I'm sure we all could. I know that you all can be recording any expense, and there's a spreadsheet that, you can find a ton on Google. Like if you Googled network marketing tax sheet, we have one. Send me a message if you want it. And your CPA will know. It's very common that people get 1099 forms now. That's the way the world's moving, 1099 forms. But you can write things off, like the portion of your cell phone bill that you use for talking about Isogenics. Go to lunches where you even mention Isogenics with a friend, you can write that off. Mm-hmm. And then as it gets, now, we're able to write off an entire room because it's our office. We're able to write off trips, so it keeps expanding, and your CPA can approve all of it. But anything where you mentioned Isogenics and it involved an expense, gas, cell phone, meal, it's amazing. It literally, what I think Eric Worre, someone else said that it's actually more expensive for people not to have a network marketing business than it is to have you save more money on your taxes. Even if you only made a smidge of money, you are getting so many tax deductions that it's more expensive for families not to have one.
Yeah.
There's a great book that I recommend to absolutely everybody called TaxMate. TaxMate. It's by Ronald Mueller. Home-based tax savings made easy. That's it. And I mean, I had a business before, so you can. The big one is mileage. Most people do not write off mileage. You can write off mileage. I think it's 56 cents a mile right now. Yeah. But I will tell you, my second year in Isogenics, I made $56,000. Now I have 3 kids, but I paid $52 in taxes. I mean, if you're smart, your single biggest expense of everything is taxes. And most people leave so much money on the table because they're not willing to track it. And it really, I do it every single day when I come home. I have files. I put in, I just use Quicken, or I would suggest QuickBooks if you're going to start, but get a system. Just do it every day, a little bit every day. It's not overwhelming then. Drop the things in the receipt, put them in the computer, and then at the end of the year, I just print out a report, send it to my CPA, and boom, I'm done. So spend the time. It's worth so much money to you.
That's so good, Lisa. Yeah, I think Susan said the average person in network marketing, if they were to track their tax expenses, they could save between $350 and $500 a month, which that's like a full package. So I'll leave that at that. But the last thing I want to talk about, and really I kind of want to invite everybody to elaborate on this because it's something I'm discovering newly. But I was at the Freeman's place. When was I over at your house? Was it Wednesday? Wednesday. And Jocelyn asked me what I thought it was going to take for me to forward my business or to hit the next level in my leadership within this business. And, it's a Super Saturday, and what I shared with you guys in the last call about what had opened up for me and how fearful I had been about not making it. So my why right now is to be able to, in a year when Natalie graduates, to be able to go anywhere with her. So she says, let's go here. I've got this awesome position. And I say, yes, let's go. And to really have a mobile business and work from anywhere. And when Tracy O'Malley was talking about her why, I got like how I had been stopped by my fear. I was so convinced that it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't like in the forefront of my mind, but subconsciously I was like, that's just not going to happen. I'm going to have to come up with some reason or excuse why I can't do it. And we're not going to make it, and we're going to have to do distance longer or something, But when I set that aside, it's like things became easy again. So when Jocelyn asked me, what do you think it's going to take? And I was like, I think it's going to be easy. And it just like fell right out of my mouth. And trust me, if you had any conversations with me in the last year, it's like not what my context was. I was like, this is hard. We got to put in our time, nose to the ground, just do the work. And if by chance we're good enough, we'll make it. But what if it doesn't have to be that way? What if the new model of business is having it be fun, and done with grace and ease? Like, what if building this business is as simple as being in alignment with your higher self, or being in alignment with who you are, and then interacting with people from that place? So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Like, what would it be like to operate with ease? How much fun are you having? Maybe that's a place to check in. Are you having fun? So who wants to share? I'm and floating, hovering over all your faces right now.
I would just pick someone, pull someone out.
Shelly.
So what was the question again?
How much fun are you having right now?
Well, I have to say, in the beginning, I was having fun because it was easy.
Uh-huh.
And then I got to a point where I wasn't having fun. And it, like you said, it became really hard. But I've only, been doing this for like 2 months. But I think, with the trainings that I've had recently and, I've had to change my mindset. So, it is fun again. And, I had to take myself out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
When I take myself out of the picture and just share the opportunity, this is what I have, this is what it is, and kind of make it fun. And if they don't, see it or want it, then, I just go on to the next person. And I just try to do that with as many people as I can. And for me, it's just, I have to add that, I have to take myself out of it, and it's helped me have a little bit more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah, who else? Hilda, go ahead.
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So for me, it was fun. Also, when I first started a few months ago, it was exciting. I wanted to tell everyone about it. It was the greatest thing in the world. And then somewhere along the line, I got to like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. Like, how am I gonna fit this in? Like, do I even want to do this? Like, what am I doing this for? And for me, I it's like a constant, almost like an hour by hour, moment by moment, remembering like, okay, what is it that I'm doing? Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna go have a conversation. Okay, why am I doing it again? I have to go have a conversation. So I really liked when you were sharing about, how are you going to start your day? Is it like, like Erin said, listening to something in the morning or reading something? Because I'm like, oh, I can implement like a bunch of things so that I can keep that in my foreground. And it's easier for me to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it gets hard. And then I forget. And then I panic because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm behind my goal. And now I'm like, all right, no, I just have to remember, like, what do I want? And almost similar, like, I also have to remember, like, what the difference I want to make in other people's lives are. Like, that's the biggest thing with, like, my dad right now. I'm like, no, I just want to see my dad healthy right now. So I can only talk to him about that, and it's made it so much easier. And so it's almost like also getting myself out of the way, remembering what I want, but also what I see in others. And it's a constant moment by moment thing for me. So it's quite a practice that I've taken on.
Totally. Yeah. That's so good, especially with your dad, that you're so focused on contributing health to him, making sure he's healthy.
Yeah.
I really hear how important that is to you.
Yeah. That's all. I mean, among my own reasons, my dad has been my biggest influence for why I want to transform like health. I want to be an influence in that. It's always been because of my dad. So I think I almost owe it to him, but almost in a loving, proud kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So good. All right. Well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do to keep it fun? To build with ease? Jocelyn, do you want to share anything with that? Because I know it was a conversation I was having with you.
Well, I think fun is a choice. Several of you have already pointed to that it's really a choice, that we can attribute that it'll be fun when we achieve a result, or we can have fun in the process. Mm-hmm. Anything that is results oriented, it's all about having fun, even when you get a no. Like, okay, awesome. Like that's just a no. It's not about me. So fun is a daily choice, and people's energy, or people can feel that energy. So I know when I'm experiencing the most fun is when I'm what is it? It's a good question. I'm just choosing fun. Mm-hmm. I'm choosing fun in that moment, and that it's And that's not easy because our mind is a stinker sometimes, but it's,
Yeah, my mind.
but I think just a moment to moment choice. And I have noticed that I also will do things that have me feel like I'm in a fun environment, put on music while doing reach outs, while Facebooking, like do things that feel fun to you. Go to a coffee shop if that feels fun. So making your environment feel like that too.
Totally. Aaron,
And then one thing I was just thinking of too is that every day, so when and Michael, you pointed to the why, getting really clear on the why of the why almost, right? Like, and really experiencing the why. And then reminding yourself every day that it's already happened. So if it's like a trip and there's like a trip that Jocelyn and I want to go on, like Tahiti, the hut is like, in the water, and then you could see through the floor into the ocean. So to every single day, think about that as it's already happened. Like, we've already got the trip planned. It's already happening, and experiencing what that's going to be like. And then just know that everything that happens has to happen on that path for me to reach that. Like, it's already happened. And then a no, a yes, a maybe, talk to you later, a team member fallout, whatever it is exactly what's supposed to happen, since I've already, gone on that trip, or I already have that car. And actually, that was one thing that Chris mentioned to us. He's like, don't shy away from allowing yourself to say, like, I want that toy, I want that car, you're allowed to have those sort of even material type of things because of how you want to experience yourself in life. And one of the things that he shared, as you grow and grow, when you're like, well, material stuff, I don't really have the drive anymore because I have it all. It's like, then you come back to how much can I give and give. So one thing I took away was not shying away from that. There are things that I want, like, like a Range Rover for Jocelyn. Like, we do want that. We don't have to be like sorry about wanting that, because we know we also care about people. And so all that, yes.
Yeah, you really can have it all. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but people respond differently, or the energy moves, or things move or seem to move while you're having fun. So I've been super significant for the last year, and I got rid of my significance for a week, which was awesome. And in that week, people started showing up. My friend Yosh, who's not an athlete, was never really ever concerned for his health, calls me out of the blue and wants to do the Ice Body Challenge. And at first I'm like, you really? Why? But like, he wanted that, totally unexpected. My friend Bethany, who was a hard no only 3 weeks ago because of finances, sent me a message yesterday that she's got a second job now as a bartender, which means she's going to be able to afford Isogenics in a few weeks. Things like that start to happen when our energy shifts from like being significant or being down, or this is so hard, to, man, this is really fun. People want to be a part of what's fun. So that's what I've got for tonight. Jocelyn, I know you wanted to leave with a 3-minute message. You've got exactly 3 minutes. So.
Oh, pressure. Okay. So really quick, I was listening on an evening walk to the Tony Robbins podcast. I like to alternate different podcasts, and he was interviewing John Wooden, the most like famous basketball player ever. Coach. He used to know how much I watch sports. But like, he introduced him really well, so I was like, okay, even though I don't know who this person is, he sounds really good. Anyway, it was an interview with John, before he passed, which I learned, that was amazing. Actually, Tony Robbins was only 29 in the interview. And John Wooden was sharing a lot about his leadership principles, which all of us, I know we're committed to being leaders. Like, and that's like real network marketing is when you're not even focusing on yourself. You're like totally thinking at the team level, which is what you do as a basketball coach. But what he said was, I trained my, and this is his philosophy, but I loved it. I trained my players to not focus on their satisfaction from the scoreboard. That their winning the game was not the scoreboard. It was that they practiced every day to be better than they were yesterday. So he actually focused on the practices, and like that the players felt their satisfaction and felt like they won because they practiced every day and better than they did yesterday. And so there was a total mental shift. And so many of us, I know, we can become like, man, I didn't enroll someone this week, or I'm not at director yet, I'm not at executive yet. That's the game, like, or the scoreboard, right? But that we can focus on every day practicing more than we practiced yesterday. And if we don't practice more today than we did yesterday, of course our scoreboard won't go up. But if we keep focusing on the scoreboard, it's like, move, scoreboard, move, you know? But it's like, if we fixate on that, we can be disempowered instead of like, oh my gosh, I killed it today because I practiced more. I shared with 2 more people than I did yesterday, you know, or I followed up with 2 more people than I did yesterday. And that makes you a winner. That makes you a winner because you did more, which will inevitably produce more results. But our satisfaction can come from that we grew more today, we practiced more today, which in, you know, for basketball, it's obviously, you know, dribbling, I think. No, I do know they do. But in our game, it's, you know, sharing, following up, enrolling, and supporting. That's our game. And it can also be fun when we look at it that way too, Michael. So to point back to your analogy, like sometimes people can get so heavy and significant in network marketing, and I've had those moments too. But then I realized, like, this is my version of being a basketball player. I can't play sports, so this is how I can play something. So that's the context I just wanted to share. To, you know, just because I was listening to it earlier and I was just like, that's awesome. Like that's winning, is practicing more today than yesterday.
Totally. And like falling in love with the game. Yeah. And the game never changes. I mean, that's one of the most powerful things about this industry is, you know, we're all in the process of mastering it, but the game never changes. Basketball never changes. Look, you guys, the dance you got going on there.
He's proud I used a sports analogy.
Oh, that was awesome. Proud husband. Does anybody else want to share anything before we end the call, before we complete the call?
Yes, I just came up with a name for the game.
Come on.
It's called ABC 1, 2, 3.
Oh, bringing it back.
I had to mention it.
Does anybody else want to say anything? All right, I love you guys. Thanks for being on. Thanks for playing the game. Game on, ABC 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for doing such a great job, Michael.
You're welcome. We'll see you next week.
You rocked. You're so good.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael. Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Everybody have a good week.